This session is on cross-agency experiential programs, and I'm so excited. I've been hoping for this session for a long time to be able to showcase these great programs. So just like before, unless otherwise noted, no statement in the seminar should be construed as an official position of any federal agency. We have 4 wonderful experiential programs here today. We have the Customer Experience Fellowship Program, the President's Management Council Interagency Rotation Program, the White House Leadership Development Program, and the Senior Executive Service Candidate Development Program. So we're going to go through each different program here, and we'll have time for questions in each one. And for the presenters, I just want to check to see if you can see the chat screen. If you can all see the chat. I'll try to help monitor the chat as well, but if you can see it as well, that'd be fantastic. So start off with a poll. So Gabby, if you can open up the first poll for this session, have you participated in one of these programs as a fellow, yes or no? So we have those 4 programs: White House Leadership Development Program, SES Candidate Development Program, the PMC program, and the CXO Fellowship. So looks like we have about 4% of you that have already participated in one of these programs. So that's great that we have folks in the audience that are familiar with these programs. And I hope that many others have heard of them as well. So the next poll is, have you hosted a participant for one of these 4 programs? So Gabby, if you can open up the next poll. So have you hosted a participant for one of these programs? And it looks like we have about 10% who have hosted a participant for one of the programs. Fantastic. And I think there's one more poll. The next poll is, are you unfamiliar with at least one of the 4 programs? Fantastic, that's what we wanted to see. Well, we hope that by the end you're very familiar, but we expected that this would be very valuable and that there were folks who would be unfamiliar with at least one of the programs. And it's true, we have about 85% of you who haven't heard of one of the programs. So fantastic that you're here today. Thanks so much, Gabby, for setting those polls up. Okay, so our first program of the day is the Chief Executive Officer CXO Fellowship Program. So Angela McPherson is going to be presenting this. She's the Program Director of the CXO Fellows Program. She is also an alum of the CXO Fellows Program. As a leader and change agent, she is passionate about helping others and building community within the federal government. Angela, take it from here.
Hey, thank you, Kim. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. So the CXO Fellowship Program began in 2014. The fellowship provides professional development opportunities for the next generation of federal leaders in acquisition, finance, human capital, information technology, and we just added data. So for FY22, data will be a new function that has been added. We are doing this to increase collaboration across agency and across functional environments through a series of educational seminars. We talk about being one government. So our goal is to help foster the space for becoming one government. So we're teaching fellows how to network and build their network across agencies and across functions, and to learn how to share best practices, things that they've been dealing with, challenges, opportunities, things like that within their agencies, so that we're not reinventing the wheel from agency to agency. Eligibility, mid-level federal employees from GS9 to 13s. You must work in one of the 5 function areas, and it must be approved by your supervisor. Next slide. It's a year-long program from October to September. We meet twice a month. It's virtual. So FY22 will be virtual as well. We are also now opening it up across the US. So any federal employee in the US can apply. Previously, it was just in the DC area, but we want to collaborate across, again, agencies, functions, and now the US. There's no cost to the participant, and there is no rotation. You'll stay in your agency and meet with us twice a month, and it'll take 10 to 15 hours a month. Next slide.
Sorry, I was responding to a chat message. Someone had asked, are other GS levels able to apply? But the answer would be, this is limited to GS 9.
9 to 13, correct. The benefits of the program is that mid-level employees expand their perspectives and skill sets to address challenges facing the federal government. The opportunity to build a community of rising leaders across the government. An ability to identify collaboration opportunities across management offices of IT, finance, human capital, and acquisition and data. An exposure to senior leaders and government-wide priorities. Next slide. And here's hearing from some of the fellows. I saw that there are a few fellows that were on the line. This program is helping the next generation of government leaders grow professionally. I think it is helping us learn in a more innovative way, and we are able to share what we have learned with our agencies. It really helps us connect with other federal government agencies, so we are not in our own little bubble. My fellowship experience has provided an environment that encourages interagency collaboration and networking with current, former, and future government leaders. I've already begun to develop my leadership brand with authenticity and confidence. I see a question, does next generation of leaders imply an age range for eligibility? No. You just have to be a GS 9 through 13. We are currently in our application period for FY22. So the application is open May 1st, so Saturday, and it's open until June 11th. And you can apply online at our website, cfo.gov/cxo-fellows. Does working as a USDA loan officer count as finance field mentioned in eligibility? Yes. What type of activities are involved with this fellowship? We have executives come in and speak, senior leadership come and speak about their career journeys. They share about different opportunities and challenges that they have dealt with and how to navigate federal government. They give advice to the fellows on how to take up leadership opportunities, to volunteer for different things, how to create opportunities within their agencies to become noticed. We do leadership development. We also do personal development, as well as learn different initiatives that are going on within government and opportunities for collaboration that's happening that a lot of federal employees don't really know about. One of the great things we've talked about this year was the presidential transition team. They came and spoke about the transition. A lot of people aren't aware that a lot of the agencies are involved in the transition. So that was a great opportunity to hear things about that. Okay. Our website is listed. Please join our LinkedIn page to find out more information and keep in touch with what's going on. And you can email us at cxofellowship@gsa.gov if you have any questions about the program.
There's one question. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
There was one question about if your agency goes off of a different scale rather than GS. I assume, do you use GS equivalents then?
Yes, we do GS equivalent.
Okay.
I got everybody.
That's fantastic. Any other questions from the group? And there's a question here about, are there other similar programs for GS 14? So funny you should ask, because the next program here is the President's Management Council Interagency Rotation Program, the PMC IRP. So our presenters here today for this program is Sandra Brown, or from Human Resource Work-Life Specialist at OPM. She is also serving as the PMC Program Manager. Tom Hendershot is also a Human Resource Specialist at OPM. He's in the Office of Work-Life Leadership and Executive Development at OPM. He serves as a policy lead for government-wide leadership and executive development, and a program manager for the President's Management Council Interagency Rotation Program. So turning it over to Tom and Sandra. Thanks so much, Angela, by the way.
Thank you, Kim. This is Tom. Everybody, good morning. Thanks for joining us. So I'll just go over a few slides quickly, and then I will transfer over to Sandra. So a little bit of background on the program. In 2011, the President's Management Council and the Chief Human Capital Officers Council launched the PMC Interagency Rotation Program. And the goal with that was to bolster cross-agency exposure for high potential GS-13s through 15s, as you can see on there, or their equivalents. And so following the program launch in the DC area, then in 2013, OPM began to expand the program to field locations through partnership with the Federal Executive Board offices throughout the country. So that allowed folks out in the field to also participate in their own individual programs as well within their Federal Executive Board area. And most recently in September 2020, OPM announced that we were putting together PMC IRP virtual pilots, which is currently underway. And it combines actually the two instances of the program, so DC and in the field. So it features interregional virtual cohort that includes, as I mentioned, the field and DC headquarter-based employees. And so this has really allowed the program to operate while many are still predominantly teleworking, and has provided some of the individuals in the program the opportunity to complete a virtual rotation assignment based outside their current geographical region or location, which they may have not been able to do otherwise. So they may have had to stay within their area where there may not be as many opportunities to do so. So we're happy to be able to offer that and provide those opportunities to the program participants. Staying on this slide still, so just a little further information. Assignments are 6 months long, and they do have to be completed at another department or agency. Now they can be within or outside of the participant's area of expertise, but they do have to be at another agency or department. So you do get some interagency experience while you're completing the rotation assignments. And while they are on those 6 month assignments, the participants will be contributing to various projects, tasks at their host agency, and really allow them the opportunity to work with a new team, new group, learning the culture of their new agency, and then helping them expand their leadership skills while they're doing that. Additionally, for part of the program, OPM as program managers, we partner with the various participating agencies, and we arrange monthly cohort leadership development workshops, which are currently also operating virtual as well right now with the program in the virtual cohort. And please note as well, participants are still permanent employees of their home agency. So this is a rotational assignment, a developmental opportunity. And so the home agency will continue to pay the employee during their rotation assignment while they're completing that. Next slide, Kim. Thank you. So looking at some of the program objectives and benefits to the fellows or the participants that are participating in the program. So the program provides the participating federal leaders really an opportunity to enhance their leadership competencies, I had mentioned, through that rotation assignment, and also other developmental opportunities outside their current agencies. So this includes many of the things that Kim had mentioned when she presented earlier, like shadowing, working with a mentor, working with coaches, completing interviews, informational interviews with individuals working at that agency. So it provides a lot of different opportunities aside from the workshops that I mentioned for individuals to participate and learn more about that agency in different areas of that agency. It expands participants' interagency experience, as I had mentioned, working at a different agency or department. And again, it can be either within or outside their current area of expertise. So we have had individuals take advantage of that and really step outside their comfort zone and use this as a stretch assignment, not only learning more about a different technical area, but really expanding those skills as well. And that really does help build not only confidence, but awareness in the participants' skills and how they can utilize those across various areas, technical areas, and different agencies as well, and how those are transferable. And then again, as I had mentioned, it really offers a great opportunity for engaging and insightful interagency cohort events which, as I mentioned, are happening virtually this time around, but it does provide the opportunity for participants to network and interact with other program participants, other federal employees, and senior executives while they're participating in those events as well. Next slide, thanks. So looking at some of the benefits to home and host agencies. So hosting really provides a great opportunity to foster relationships that can be leveraged in the future, even when the participant goes back to their home agency. It allows those hosting organizations and teams to bring in new skills that they may not have on their team currently for a period of time to help contribute to certain projects or tasks that they may have or may have been put on hold, while they were looking to help acquire those skills. Brings in different perspectives, not only with those individuals, but from also other agencies as well. So that can be helpful and provide a different insight to certain projects. It helps increase agency awareness and different agency missions and share information like best practices or skills, or help develop those participants that they can take those skills and transfer them again to their home agency when they go back. And then also for the home agencies, it can provide a great opportunity while that individual is off completing their rotation assignment. It does provide a great opportunity for internal development for other team members that may be able to step in and do an internal stretch kind of assignment or developmental assignment within their own team to help support the team while that colleague is out on their rotation assignment as well. With that, I know we got a few more minutes left, so I want to hand it over to Sandra so she can go through some of the next slides as well.
Thanks, Tom, and good morning, everyone. First, I want to address a couple of questions that popped up, just so they don't get too far. We're not too far gone before we answer those. And one of them was about the assignments that are listed. Are they listed anywhere? Are people able to see them in advance? The answer is they are listed on Max, but they're only available to participants once they've been nominated by their agency and essentially selected in the particular cohort. The agencies that participate vary from cohort to cohort, and so do the assignments. They change. Occasionally we may have a host supervisor assignment that comes back, but there are many that change from cohort to cohort based on mission based on an agency's mission and the projects that are available at each agency. There was also a couple of questions about how to apply and some frustration expressed with trying to apply at their agency. I guess that's a little challenging because that's when I would say sometimes a mentor might come into play or a coach that give you some support or assistance in trying different methods for applying if you run into the dead ends that you had mentioned. But the application process typically is handled at each agency. And if your agency participates, the agency coordinator can assist in that process. And to identify whether or not you have an agency coordinator and you participate, typically your CLO's office and our HR staff can provide that information. There was another question about permission to apply. Well, you can apply on your own, but chances are if you haven't talked to your supervisor and gained their support, you won't get very far because it is required first and second level supervisor approvals on the application to apply. So you definitely want their support, especially considering you're going to be away for 6 months, which answers the next question about it being full-time. Yes, it is different in that regard because this is one of those opportunities where you would actually leave your work behind, work with your supervisor in order to do that, sort of disconnect so you can immerse yourself into this new program. And for all those supervisors that are worried, it was mentioned a little earlier, I think when Kim was talking about their employees that may or may not return, we've actually done studies and most people, longitudinal studies, and most people return to their home agencies with a greater level and a higher level of engagement. So you can see here that there has been a difference in the program before the pandemic because it was definitely in person and heavily weighted on the experience that way. Now, this is our pilot for a virtual program, and that began March 29th technically, but the beginning of April, and will end at the end of September. So that's considered the spring session. Individuals, employees are nominated at their agencies, and for this particular cohort in the spring, that process begins in the fall and typically takes place between October and December, and there's slight variances between agencies. Again, the application process, all that is handled at your home agency, and the selection process, which again may vary somewhat. Agencies have the discretion to come up with the process. We are there, OPM, the management team, Tom and I, we are there to provide advice and support, but that process is open for different periods, and then the selection is handled differently, sometimes by executives or other methods are used. In order to participate, though, certainly agencies must not only host assignments, but they also must nominate candidates. And again, this is our pilot. The virtual spring 2020 cohort is underway and will end at the end of September.
And Sandra, there was another question about, can the judicial and legislative branches participate? Or is it limited to the executive branch?
You know what, to date, it has been the executive branch. I don't know if we're going to revisit that. Have you heard anything in that space, Tom?
Yeah, this right now, it's for executive branch agencies.
So maybe that's something that we can think about and really talk to in terms of the origination of the program. We have some advisors who've been around from the beginning, but that's the current status. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, and Sandra, again, too, real quick, there was another question that popped up. Is the opportunity open to any grade levels or only for supervisors, managers? Again, so it doesn't, you don't have to be a supervisor or manager, but it is limited to GS 13s through 15s or equivalent.
And someone asked if EPA participates. They currently are. They have several years. There are a number of agencies who have. We won't try to name them all now, but some have participated some years and not others. For example, NASA hasn't participated for a few years, and neither has Social Security. But that decision is purely made at the agency level and typically by the CLO and or HR staff. Justice has expressed an interest, but hasn't participated to date.
And Sandra, if they're wondering whether or not their agency participates, should they email the PMC email that you've listed here?
Absolutely. PMC rotations at opm.gov. We can answer that promptly.
Yeah, so if you are wondering, I saw a couple on here about whether certain agencies have POCs or coordinators. So if you do have a question regarding that, you know, like this, for this cohort, we have about 16 or 17 agencies that are participating, and that's usually around average. But if you do want to reach out to that program mailbox and double check whether or not your department or agency has a coordinator, please feel free to go ahead and do that. Just email us at PMC rotations, and we'll get back to you with that point of contact so that you can reach out to them about applying, whether that's on the participant side or if you're interested in hosting a potential participant as well. So
that's right. That's not listed on a public facing website, but that's easy enough for us to respond to. And so Voice of America, I know it's a new name. I just saw that the global, whatever it was, they have also expressed interest in participating, but have not yet. And EPA, again, is currently participating, and IRS is as well and has for several years.
And Sandra, can you tell us a bit more about how to host an opportunity? We just have a couple minutes left for.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thanks. So most importantly, the coordinators can provide some information, but we're happy to do so as well. That is Tom and I from the program officer side, management side, but host supervisors really just need to be very thoughtful about creating an opportunity for a GS 13, 14, or 15, and just to make sure that the project scope is going to be something that will address the ECQs. And that's up to the agency to decide, you know, is it building coalitions? Do they have an opportunity to lead people or develop themselves in the area of business acumen? Something that covers the ECQs. And then the other issue that many times can be a factor that prevents some from applying, such as State Department or DHS, is the clearance requirement, or OMB. It definitely needs to be identified and listed. If there are top secret or other clearances that are required, potential applicants need to know that in advance. Again, I know our website has been posted in the chat before. It is here again. Our contact information at our mailbox is really easy. PMC rotations is also in the chat box. Again, Tom and I are the managers, and we check the mailbox frequently. And we're happy to let you know if your agency is participating. And if they haven't, it doesn't mean that they won't, but we can at least put you in contact with those so that you can find out more information directly from your agency coordinators or HR and CLO staff. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandra and Tom. So without further ado, we'll move on to the next program, the White House Leadership Development Program, WHLDP. So Amy Bontrager is the director of the White House Leadership Development Program. And she is a believer in good and equitable government. Amy serves as a leader in performance management geared towards executive leadership. She honors the importance of leaders' ability to be adaptable, agile, and have empathy. Every day, she gets to create space and opportunities for government leaders to evolve with a human-centered design approach, focusing on what happens when we humanize our workforce. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Kim. And you did not need to read that bio. It's always like, what are you sitting here? But thank you so much. It's so wonderful to see over 600 people on this call. And I love that Kim has brought this community together. Also, these leadership programs, I've already emailed one of the programs like, hey, let's connect. But I think hopefully all of you, whether the opportunity is a couple grades away or it's something that you would love your team to do, I hope all of you leave this just realizing our government really believes in evolving our leaders and that we continue to create space for public servants to be more impactful. So I'm just thrilled. This is my jam, getting to talk about this stuff. So, and kudos to all of you to take time out of your day to focus on this and think through, how are you either evolving your team or looking at your own leadership journey. So White House Leadership Development Program, I feel like we're building. So we had the CXO fellows that are mid-career, our friends over at OPM with the cross-government, with the PMC Interagency Fellowship is a fantastic detail opportunity. And now our program, White House Leadership Development Program. Background, this program was started in the Obama administration. So we're super jazzed that we're serving our third presidential administration. It is geared towards GS-15s, which I know those high-performing GS-14s are like, oh, it's so close, but continue to think about as you evolve in your career that these opportunities are coming. So it is for GS-15s. It's a one-year program where you join us for 1 year at the Center of Government. Most of our placements are in O&D. We do have some at GSA. We do have some in policy offices. As you can imagine, that changes as the administrations change. So you're really getting this dose of like Center of Government. How do we manage government better? And I like to think just this like good government. So whether it's, I always say, whether you want big government or small government, we come to work every day to create good government. And to get that exposure, but also knowing the talent and energy that's at agencies, getting to bring that to the Center of Government, how that's a value to a lot of these projects. It is a non-reimbursable program, so there's no money exchange between the agencies and us. Agencies, you remain an FTE to your home agency, but then you're coming to work with us. So your day-to-day projects are here with us. The thing that's really different too about a traditional detail and ours, similar to some of the other programs you're hearing about, is this leadership development piece. And I often like to tell people as they're thinking of applying, they get sometimes caught up in the first two words, that White House, but there's this whole leadership development part. And I really think that's the secret sauce to this experience, because every Friday the cohort comes together and does a development session. Oftentimes the sessions are kind of geared towards what we think executive leaders need, some of those competencies. So if you're familiar with the ECQs, the executive core qualifications, it might be loosely based on that, but ideally, what are the leaders? What do we need leaders to have to continue to evolve and make impact at their agencies. So that Friday session is a big part of this experience. And I think often if you talk to fellows or you talk to an alumni, they'll say the community that was built between that cohort is one of the things that's definitely lasting after the experience. And going into our 7th year, we're seeing that as our alumni are continuing to stay very engaged. And that you really get to be part of this community, this family that we offer, or that we've created. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So we talk about benefits. I think anytime, whether it's, anytime you get to work a little outside your comfort space, I think you grow and you get to evolve. And so I think that's one of the big value adds to this program is you're getting this kind of center of government, cross-government experience. Often folks learn in our program, center of government is run on limited resources. So if you're used to having some of the comforts of your agency, you're dropped in center of government. There is no admin assistance perhaps, or you're writing the PowerPoints. My favorite part, I will tell you, is when you get the high performing GS-15s and you tell them you got to write a PowerPoint, they're like, I haven't done that in 10 years. So it can be humbling. I think that's another benefit. But also that we're developing this cadre of leaders that have the ability to look at things across government, that understand the creation of policy and what it can mean in the implementation at your home agency. One thing that a lot of times our placements are geared toward are cross-agency priorities. So every administration has a president's management agenda, and those cross-agency priorities fall under that. And so you're getting that exposure, which all of your agencies are going to touch cross-agency priorities in some way. And so I think that exposure too is another benefit in getting results and being a part of that. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So, like the PMC interagency, this is where you really need to kind of identify your agency's pathway and culture and where you can advocate for yourself. Agencies do their internal vetting. So we put the application out to the agencies, usually in the CHICO or Chief Learning Officer's office. As you can imagine, each agency has its own culture and how they do our application, but definitely go back to your agency and start to think through who's the Chief Learning Officer, who's doing executive leadership training, if this is something you're interested to. Also, if you're a supervisor on this and you have a top performing candidate and you're thinking, how can I help, support their development, think through of how you can nominate and how your agency is handling it. So our application process, this is kind of a wacky time of year to be on the panel today, but nevertheless, our application goes out in February and it will close on May 14th this year. So for those agencies that are doing internal vetting, if they haven't picked their top 6 candidates, you might still have an option to get in there, but you're going to want to work with your home agency on where they are in that process. But this is definitely something to think about if it's not this year, next year, how you might be able to put yourself forward and what work you can do now to position yourself to be in a space to apply for the program. The program runs from September to October. As other programs have mentioned, we were able to transition to a virtual experience, which has its own challenges, but I will say that fellows have really leaned into this uncertainty and kind of ambiguous environment and have found their own ways to navigate it, and especially to get this kind of front row seat into a presidential transition and a development of a new president's management agenda. Definitely follow us on LinkedIn. We share about the fellows and good things happening there. And we also are working on doing some quarterly events where we get to bring the greater government together to think about work life and equity. So I'm going to look over, is there any questions that were coming up? Please post.
Thanks so much, Amy. And I think I haven't seen any questions come in, but if I do, we will catch them for you for the end. And I just wanted to move on since we got a little bit behind. So thank you so much for this presentation. That was fantastic. Now our last group of this session is the Senior Executive Service Candidate Development Program. And Tiana Young from OPM is going to be presenting this session. She's a human resource specialist in the Office of Work-Life Leadership and Executive Development at OPM. In addition, she serves as the Senior Executive Service Candidate Development Program Manager. Welcome, Tiana.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I'll start with what Kim said. So we're going to talk about the SES CDP program, which is the Senior Executive Service Candidate Development Program. So that program is an OPM approved training program designed to develop executive core qualification. Individual agencies administer their own approved CDPs, SES CDPs, and I'll explain what that means in a second. So the purpose of the CDPs, they serve as a succession management tool to agencies. They provide SES candidates with training, other developmental opportunities, and all of those opportunities and all of those kind of the purpose behind it are all allow your requirements to graduate as well. So you get some exposure doing developmental assignments in other agencies or other groups within your agency. Graduates of an OPM approved CDP are selected through civil service-wide competition and are certified by OPM's QRB, which is the Qualifications Review Board. And from that point, you receive a career SES without further competition. So what that means is once you get QRB certified, you no longer had to compete for those positions in SES. So who's eligible to apply? SES are open to all qualified individuals from within or outside of the federal government. You don't have to be currently in the federal government to apply. You can apply from wherever you're sitting. Most cases they are internally, however, you don't have to be, you just have to qualify for that agency's announcement. Duration and time and commitment. So SES CDPs are at minimum of 12 months. They anywhere from about 12 to 24. The average is about 12 to 18 months of time spent. Next slide. Okay. So graduation requirements. You'll have to complete your executive development plan, which all cohorts, those administering the cohorts help you do that process. You'll complete 80 hours of formal interagency training and multi-sector training. So some people use vendors, some people do their training within. You also have a developmental assignment totaling of at least 4 months of full-time service outside of that candidate's position of record. That part is very important. You have to be outside of your actual position of record. You can do more than one developmental assignment, However, one has to be consecutive of 90 days. But total, you have to have that 120 days to 4 months of a developmental assignment to qualify for graduation. Also, you have your SES, your mentoring relationship is also another graduation requirement. So where are we? How to apply. So openings are on USA Jobs and sometimes on the agency website. However, they have to be on USA Jobs for a minimum of 14 days. So you'll see them both places sometimes, but there's a must that they are on USA Jobs. And each agency, like I stated before, they set their own application requirements. So OPM's role in this is we approve the policy. We make sure that everything is up to regulation. We ensure that they are covering everything they need to cover in their cohort. However, the agency with the CDP is in charge of their announcement. They're in charge of vetting through those candidates and picking and offering those spots to those who qualify for the position. So that's all done by their ERBs. They also have to follow merit staffing principles. So that stuff is, we're able to speak on it. And one of our tips and tricks to that is, if you email us, and I'll give you our email address if you're looking for a CDP, while we don't share agency contact information, we do share agencies that have approved CDPs at that time. And what you can do is we have a set of instructions where you can set up your search engine on USA Jobs to get alerts of when they put out their CDP announcements. So this OPM training and development wiki page, while we're working to do some updates to it, it still has loads and loads of accurate information on it, which would help you through that process of learning more about CDPs. In addition, if you have any direct questions, you can send them to the SES development box. We answer that immediately as well. But that is our central location for SES questions. So I'm going to jump in the chat and see what questions in your experience for any specific agency.
There was one question about whether or not there's a minimum GS equivalent grade in order to apply.
So typically it's a GS 15. There was a time where GS 14 or higher was a thing. But it's typically a GS 15. Someone asked me, are there any specific agencies that routinely offer a CDP? So the agencies that have approved policies, they're approved for 5 years. So all of those agencies can run CDPs within that 5-year time span, and then they have to submit to us for reapproval. So there are 17 agencies currently with CDP policies. It doesn't mean that they're currently running a CDP, but they have CDP policies that are approved by OPM at this time.
Thank you so much, Tiana. One of the questions that came up right now that I wanted to bring up, because I've seen it a couple other times, we talked about, you know, are there other opportunities that might be good to have that don't exist in these 4 opportunities? And one might be, there are some folks who are below the level of GS requirements. And so one of those opportunities might be great if there was a program that was actually geared towards folks in the GS levels below those that are eligible for the programs we spoke of today. Another program that might be useful too is a program that allows folks who are currently SES to continually develop. So those are just a couple things that have come up in some of the questions, and some said please consider creating a program that allows for opportunities GS 9 to 11, for example. So so this has been fantastic. I just want to see if there are any other additional questions regarding the SES development program or any other. Yep, and Tiana?
I was going to say one thing about those preparing to apply for a CDP, or if you know that sometime in your future SES is what you want. It's never too early to really start figuring out what those ECQs look like and how they pertain to your life. So you can find ways, whether it's inside your job or in your community, to start building on those ECQs as you're growing through your career, if you know that that is the end goal. There's always time to update them and brush them up, but it gives you that experience to really detail out each ECQ.
Fantastic. And then is there a list available somewhere where the currently approved agencies are listed?
It is not posted, but I'm happy to provide that to you, and you can send it to all participants if that's helpful.
Great.
And Kim, while you're looking at just last minute questions, I'd just like to offer that for anyone going through their career development, whether or not SES is your goal, the ECQs are a great framework to use to kind of keep track of projects and accomplishments, and will help you sort of tell your story and make your case when you're applying for any of these professional development programs or any job for that matter. I mean, certainly the CCAR and STAR methods are recommended, but when you keep track of all your professional activities and accomplishments kind of within the ECQ framework, you're prepared to go in any direction of your career growth in the federal government.
Thank you, Sandra. There's a question about are folks in the accepted service or administratively determined able to apply for the SES Candidate Development Program? And the answer, Tiana, that would be yes, right? All folks can apply.
Yes.
So thank you so much.